lore accurate champions for Space Marine 2. That'd be nice. So, Space Marine 2 has hit a little bit of hot water recently for the simple fact of they've released a really, really polished, well-rounded, good game and then have absolutely botched it with DLCs and champion packs and a variety of other things, which has a few people questioning the longevity of the game as well as the devs' understanding of the lore. Now, I am not the best lore expert. Absolutely not. So there's going to be a lot of mistakes in this. And I'm just going to be going with what I know with some extra bit of research that I have done to fill in a few blanks. I've done a video on the Space Marine 2 on a few lore things that kind of just annoy me overall. But it's mostly just due to the wording of why things are used. However, I understand at the same time as to why they're used that way, such as sniper. Technically speaking, no Space Marine chapter has snipers. They're referred to as eliminators. But for people that aren't into the whole lore of Warhammer 40k, saying eliminator, not a lot of people potentially who are new to the lore are going to understand what an eliminator is. But if you say something like sniper, you kind of get it. So I get it. It's just something that kind of bothers me though. It really is hard to ignore the simple fact that the reviews of the DLCs are mixed at best and absolutely horrific at worst. And the crux of the problem is, as one user wrote, it's important to understand that the season pass is divided into one complete skin for each class. The heavy class received the Ultramarine skin, which appears to be exclusive to those who purchased the Ultra Edition. I bought the Gold Edition and it doesn't let me use it. The second skin belongs to the Dark Angels and is for the Bulwark class. The upcoming DLC in the Season Pass will each include a skin for one of the 4 remaining classes. This creates a problem where if you prefer the class doesn't align with the chapter you like, you're left without meaningful content, which is absolutely true. However, my larger issue is, and the most complained about thing across all of the DLC, is just the simple fact that after you've bought it, you don't actually have access to those cosmetics. You still have to go through and unlock it, which can be a problem, especially if you have limited time to play and you just want it to look cool here and now. We're not even going to delve into the fact that one of the DLCs allows us to wear the Crux Terminus, which is a battle honor awarded to hardcore veterans essentially, and allows them to join the First Company veteran squads where they will exclusively wear Terminator armor. But we're able to have the Pauldron. Interesting. As well as the fact that the new champion is the sniper class and it's a damn salamander. Yeah, something salamanders are absolutely perfectly well known for is their sniping ability. Have the devs even read a friggin' lore book? That would be a useful thing to know. So, what this video is going to attempt to do, now that we're like nearly 4 minutes in, is what would lore accurate champions actually look like. Now, this isn't going to solve the problem of a champion for each chapter for each class, but potentially should make a little bit more sense. Going through a champion for each class would be the best option, but I'm not lore savvy enough to even delve into that sort of thing, so we're going to keep it basic as to what each chapter is specifically with Primaris, because that's what we're looking at and talking about, is most notably known for. Now, up first is the Heavy, and most of the lore I can find on this revolves around just it being the aggressor squads for the Gravis pattern power armor, which, from an excerpt from the Lexicanium, which is on screen now, you can see it was the Iron Hands and Salamanders, as well as the Black Templars, that really took to this type of power armor. So, obviously here, I feel like your champion for the Heavy should be either an Iron Warrior or a Salamander. I personally feel like just to try and get as much in as possible, do both, have 2 champions per class. I feel like that would be pretty good. So, personally, if I was in charge of this, I would do an Iron Hands champion and a Salamander's champion. As you can see with the footage playing in the background, I do have the robotic arm. I'm wearing I have the Iron Hands color scheme. I even have the white helmet, which I believe signifies captain within the Iron Hands, having a white helmet. Though this does seem to be specific to aggressor squads. I can't really find much use or any lore really regarding any other chapters around Gravis power armor, which is like a signatory armor type of the heavy class. Up next is Assault. Now I'm going to catch a little bit of flack here, simply because from the research that I have done, outside of the Sanguinary Guard, Blood Angels don't really use their jump packs anywhere near as much as other legions. And to be perfectly honest, the two legions that use jump packs the most are, one, coming in first place, Night Lords. Second place would be Raven Guard. However, we're not going to add Raven Guard to this list yet, simply because they are better suited to somewhere else. At least that's with overall legions. If you're going to look individual chapters, second founding, the chapter that uses their jump packs the most is Death Company Marines of the second founding Blood Angels chapter. However, from what I can figure of these, is they're basically crazy suicidal shock troops. I also wanted to add White Scars, since their whole dynamic is hit hard and fast and then get out, like just sort of guerrilla tactics, cavalry styled tactics. And obviously we can't have the Astartes bikes in this, so jump pack would be like the next logical thing to go with. So obviously, just to appease the masses, the first one has to be Sanguinary Guard for the Blood Angels, and the second champion, simply just because Thunderhammer, Space Vikings. I don't know, I just kind of feel like out of the other slots that are left, this is like where they would best be suited. I would prefer to actually have them as Bulwark if we could get a Power Axe, but at the same time, with the Bulwark class, I kind of feel like Dark Angels and Black Templar just better suit that dynamic. Speaking of which, Bulwark. Now, I've literally just said it, so no surprises here. And at least in the first place, we do actually have a Dark Angels Knight for our Bulwark champion. However, I also feel like a Black Templar would also suit here very, very well. We now have the Reaver squads, or Vanguard, in the game, which is completely wrong because the Vanguard is basically what the entirety of 10th Company is called. Vanguard Infiltrators, Vanguard Eliminators, etc, etc, etc. Them being called Vanguard is completely wrong and is probably hurts me the most. Now, this is where a lot of you are possibly going to disagree, just because a lot of people know the Raven Guard to be known for their jump packs. However, now, with Primaris, as well as along with the White Scars, at the very least within lore, this is what the Raven Guard and White Scars are mostly known for now, is their Reaver squads. Space Wolves 2 as well, so potentially we could swap Space Wolves from Assault to being in a Vanguard Reaver as well, and have Raven Guard take over there. However, I just really like the idea of a Space Wolf running around with a Thunderhammer. Like, I'm sorry, like I can't give up on that. Now we have the Tactical. Now there's actually 3 good options here, and originally one of those options for me was Blood Angels. Like, I feel like Tactical would really suit Blood Angels rather than the Assault. However, we have Blood Angels in Assault, so we can't really double up here, which leaves us with 2 really, really good options. And I feel like one of them speaks volumes for 1, the chapter, 2, how that chapter actively works, and 3, pairs nicely with the Tactical and his kit overall. And that is the Ultramarine. Like, I don't actually understand how they put Ultramarine as heavy when it's perfectly suited for Ultramarine to be tactical. I don't think anyone would have complained at all. The second, just because they are a very, very, very versatile legion themselves, would be the Imperial Fists. Like, I feel like with the way in which the Imperial Fists have conducted themselves throughout the millennia within lore, they would suit Tactical very well. Minus, obviously, the First Company Templars, which would then lead to Sigismund branching off and creating the Black Templars. But Obviously, minus like a few variations and second foundings, I feel like the Imperial Fist as a whole would really, really suit the Tactical Marine. Along with, like I said, Ultramarines. Ultramarines are like the pinnacle of Tactical Marine. The final one here being Sniper, and lore-wise, it's kind of absurd that you would have a champion Sniper. I'm afraid to say, which for those people that are a fan of the Sniper class, I'm not trying to gatekeep you and saying you're not allowed a champion. I just don't know enough about the lore to actually give any form of remote recommendation as to what Legion a Sniper champion would belong to. The main thing I could realistically say is with each, if they did it the way in which I am suggesting, with each DLC bundle, you would get random pieces that would fit every class for a multitude of different legions. So quite literally, you could make your Sniper champion how you want, look how you want, for whatever you want. Which, now that I'm saying it out loud, adds in the added issue of, in order to make your Sniper champion, you'd have to buy every DLC, rather than someone like me just buy the Iron Hands champion DLC, the heavy, if they did it the way in which I'm saying. So clearly that's not a good idea. Now there is actually one chapter that does make some decent-ish use of its marksmanship skills, and they are called the Raptors. They're a second founding of the Raven Guard, but not much has really gone into with their sniping. It's just basically said that they are all exceptional marksmen, which is probably about the closest we're really going to get. Anyway, that is my list of lore-accurate champions. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Except if you're a Blood Angels fan, because I feel like we could have an entire month's worth of arguing and debating and talking all about Blood Angels and whether or not they're actually known for their jump pack uses. Honestly, from the research that I have done, basically every champion within the Blood Angels comes back to either being Dante, who used a jump pack, or Ralderon, who didn't use a jump pack. Well, I think he had to because he was first captain, and the Sanguinary Guard was originally created to try and keep up with Sanguinius as he just fucked off all over the battlefield. But he actively didn't really like it, and when he didn't have to use it, he was the first one to drop the damn thing. So yeah, let me know. However, in the meantime, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.